So this is one of those videos that I feel like is going to be a rather big one, as we're talking about Nintendo and LEGO at the same time, and I think I'm going to go back to my roots and style this video like I used to style my videos back on my previous channel. Because I have a lot to say about this set, I'm going to break this down into 5 main sections, and then finally give you my overall thoughts on this set. I've had no idea really how to structure this video, but now that I've got this idea...
Lego Mario time! Here we go!
So if you ever wanted a LEGO Nintendo set, well I know I certainly have. Now there have been countless uploaded to LEGO ideas, and finally Nintendo have given in and said, yeah, we can get a Mario set. And as you guys know, this year LEGO Mario sets have come out because it was everywhere. LEGO really wanted you to know that they landed the Nintendo license. But with that came big fees. That's probably why the piece per part ratio is driven into the ground. Now it's strange to see the approach that LEGO took with these sets. I understand that they wanted maybe more of a big play scale set so younger children who are fans of Nintendo's could play with these bigger characters. And when I see the Mario characters that they've gone ahead and designed, I think to myself, hey, that's actually pretty good. I like the new little arms molded pieces, and I like the feet little pieces that they've introduced. I also like some of the printed tiles, as some of these are mostly printed, which is weird to see a LEGO set do. The issue I have with this is you're using the limited pieces that you have to actually build the characters, meaning that the sets aren't actually going to be all that great. And this shows with most of their sets. But what I do like are the little random bags with the little Mario creatures you could get, were a really good way to get extra enemies for your sets, and I really liked this idea. They were nice and they were cheap. I really liked how this was a really cool way to get little tiny characters that you still even got to build, it wasn't like a singular molded piece, for such a cheap price, and they could be interacted with your bigger Mario characters later on down the line. I thought this was a great decision by LEGO to do. I just wish the sets were a bit more substantial so you could put these characters in it. But we'll get to that. I think the figures might be my actual favourite thing about this entire line. Yes, you have the mix between the circular and the round bricks, and if you ask me, it would have been better if we just had minifigs. However, the direction that LEGO did take with the whole buildable aspect, I really like where they went with it. Characters like Bowser, like the Bob-omb and the Spinies, they get a massive thumbs up in my book. I think some of them are great designs and they look amazing. And some of the new molded pieces that they have for these Mario sets really complement the design and bring these LEGO characters to life better than some brick-built alternatives would have done. From the best to the worst, I now think we should talk about one of the worst things and some of the most hated things about this particular set and some of the other LEGO Mario sets. And it's this tile. And unfortunately, LEGO seems to think that because we now get LEGO Mario sets, that we should make the starter courses exactly like the Mario map. And I understand the aesthetic of trying to make it look like the Mario map. However, that's just not what the levels look like. The LEGO portrayal of some of these levels are just literally the basics. I mean, take the starter course for example. On the first level of Mario, you have a set of 2 bricks and a question mark block. Now this was designed for Mario to just jump over, scan with his little bum light, and move on. And frankly to me, looks nothing like what a starter level of Mario should be. What do I think the direction they should have taken is? I don't really know, but I still think a minifig with maybe the mid-legs would have been a better idea. Then LEGO could have maybe built out their levels a bit more. Let's be honest, Mario is a very cubey world, and LEGO have done cubey worlds before. I mean, take a look at their Minecraft line. I reckon if we had got some of these blocks lined up in the style of a platformer with a minifig going across, I think people would have been more happy with that than they would have been this. I mean, take a look at some of their builds. So for the starter course, we have a molded pipe, a tiny tree build, and then is this meant to be a castle? There are red bricks on top of it. It's meant to be a castle. The best part about this entire set is the flagpole, because I think it's the only thing that's actually built up enough for you to actually recognize that it's from the game. The question mark block is a bit of a cheat because, you know, it's a question mark block. At least the flagpole is like, oh, I can tell this is from Mario. I just feel like LEGO really missed the this, but like I say, I think I know why, and we'll get to it. One of the biggest problems I have with this set, maybe even more than the builds, are the fucking random bricks that you get with it. You actually get some plates in this set so you can connect some of the other new molded pieces to each other, making what looks to be like an old Mario map. Now, I've already explained in my previous point that I think the map idea is stupid, but I can understand what LEGO was going for. As people on this channel would know, I'm not a massive fan of the studded look, so even having some extra tiles on this could have made this concept even better. Some of these little like islands that you have could have been built up a lot more, and if you just had those little islands, Mario could have hopped between the islands without even needing these connecting pieces. Some of these connecting pieces are literally only there to just make the set look a bit more whole, where if you actually built up the islands, you wouldn't need these connecting pieces, because your set would just look whole anyway. What I think these Mario sets should have done is include a lot more pieces, yes, making them slightly more expensive. I accept the fact that Mario is going to have heavy licensing fees. And fuck, we could have had an add-on pack like Minecraft does, where we get some extra blocks, so you could make it more of a platformer. I think this starter set should have been literally 4 little builds, but actually make them look like levels rather than just include some rounded plates with some different platforms and a shitty looking castle, because that's literally all we basically get in the starter set. Make a part of the level that actually looks like the first part of the level. Get rid of this fucking seesaw thing and actually have a decent looking pipe with a platform, and then have the flag at the end with some actual bricks leading up to it, like we see in the games. And then get rid of these shitty connecting pieces. We don't need them. People would have paid for that. And like I say, if they were using minifigures with like mid-legs instead of these brick-built figures, we could have got even more detail out of these builds, because they wouldn't be using bricks to build the figures. Now I'm going to take a little branch off, just so I can talk about some other LEGO Mario sets, and clear up a few questions that I know you guys are all going to bollock me for in the comments. The first thing is, I actually really do like some of these buildable figures. Figures like the Baby Bowser, the Yoshi, and the Toad, I think actually translate really well into LEGO, and I understand why they're doing them in the big figs. I'm just saying I hate what they're doing with the actual set parts rather than the actual figures. I understand that they want to go in this sort of direction, and that's completely cool, but I just feel like they're giving us really good figs and then neglecting the sets. I mean, take the Mario's House one with Yoshi for example. You get a really nice Yoshi figure, Mario's House, which is awful. And that's like not even a cheap set, that's like a £35 set. And you get barely any pieces, but the reason is because a lot of those pieces go into Yoshi himself. And it's exactly the same story with things like the Toad set. The Toad set I actually feel like is a little bit more substantial, because you actually get a little bit of house, but at least it looks more like what I was expecting from Mario sets, rather than the starter course, which just, in my mind, looks like utter trash. In terms of the set, I think the figures look great. To be honest, the only Mario set that I think actually looks really good is the Bowser's Castle one. It actually looks like a scene from Mario. You get a Bowser. Yeah, there are a few play features that don't really give it, but at least you can tell what it is. Just wanted to clear a few of those things up before I know a lot of people come at me in the comments. And if you are going to come at me in the comments, please tell me how you think this castle looks good. And now on to the main event. Now you could argue that this is probably one of the best parts about this set, or it's the worst. And I'm kind of on the fence, as I am with most sets, because I agree with some of the points and I also disagree with pretty much all the rest. And I think this could have been actually the reason that these sets are so bad, and the reason that we didn't get minifigures, and we got this molded Mario with the screen in him. And I'm going to say something now that I think a lot of people will be surprised about. The reason these sets are so bad is not LEGO's fault. I think it's Nintendo's. Now hear me out. What do you think the reason is we haven't seen a Nintendo set for this long is? All of the sets that we've seen from LEGO Ideas have been pretty damn good. I mean, we've had countless Zelda sets which look amazing, which I really hope LEGO do decide to do in the future, and they actually give us minifigs, because I think that would be so cool. I'm such a massive Zelda fan. But why do you think it's taken so long for a staple such as Mario, one of the biggest names in Nintendo history, to become a LEGO set? And I think I know what it is. It's a gimmick. Now, Nintendo have been one of those companies that have always released controversial consoles. I mean, they were one of the first in their time to release controller consoles, and since then they've just been experimenting with different technologies to try and please the masses. I mean, take the Wii for example. revolutionary at its time. Then they tried to upgrade on it by releasing the Wii U, and that flopped. And now they've done the exact same thing with the Nintendo Switch. It's a different type of technology from all of the other consoles that we've got. We've got a handheld console and a TV console in one. Nintendo is all about innovation and design. We know that LEGO has always wanted the Nintendo license because, like I say, some of these Zelda sets on Ideas have obviously reached the 10,000 supporter limit, and LEGO have reached out to Nintendo and they've said no. I reckon that Nintendo has agreed to let LEGO make sets about their franchises because of the technology aspect in the LEGO figures. Now, I've got no research to prove this, I just reckon that's what's happened. And I reckon that's the reason we're getting the big figs and we're not getting minifigs. I mean, we've seen this type of technology with Mindstorms before. They're taking this to Nintendo and they're saying, hey, we can make a full Mario level out of LEGO bricks and get Mario to play that level. And the reason I think this is the only reason that LEGO and Nintendo made this deal is because the LEGO Mario actually doesn't do anything. Yes, you can argue that this new sticker feature is really revolutionary for LEGO, but at the same time, it doesn't do anything. Like the coins that Mario collects, so there was absolutely no reason for the gimmicky features. I reckon that's the only reason that the gimmicky features exist, is because Nintendo wanted to put technology in the actual LEGO bricks. Now, do I think there'll be LEGO Mario minifigures in the future? Actually, yes I do. I think there's going to be a lot more Mario sets in this kind of style, and trust me, they will sell. It's Mario, it's going to sell. I think that LEGO will actually convince Nintendo to just say, hey, we're going to make a minifig version of these sets just as an exclusive, and then they'll see that it sells loads, and then we'll get more minifig versions of these sets, especially once this whole screen of the gimmicky Mario thing wears down across the years and people realise that they still just want the minifigs, and then hopefully we'll get more fleshed out Mario sets. And hey, if LEGO don't do this and they don't give us minifigs, at least can we get a buildable thing like Minecraft do? Like they give us just a load of extra bricks so we can add to our sets. I still think this castle looks terrible. I'd much rather build my own. Future mods video, question mark? But in conclusion, what do I think of LEGO Super Mario? I like some of the ideas that LEGO have introduced here. Some of the buildable characters are amazing, and I just wish they had done them as more of a brickhead line than maybe a set line. I know a lot of people are against brickheads, but I imagine literally just the same characters that you could literally just buy singularly off the shelf. And same with the actual buildable Mario. I don't think he should have come in a starter set necessarily that costs especially £50. Because you're paying £20 literally just for the Mario. Literally just include him in his own separate packet. I don't understand why LEGO has done this. Yes, it forces you to buy this massive starter set, but people are going to buy it anyway. If they want it, they're going to buy it. Literally, in my mind, it would have been just so much better if you could have just buy the Mario on his own and then a set like the Yoshi set. That way you didn't have to have this starter set that included Mario and a Goomba and Bowser just to show off the features. People know what it does, they watch reviews. And even if they didn't know what it did and they just bought the Mario for whim, even then Mario has a lot of features just on his own. You can literally rock him and he goes to sleep. Obviously he has the changeable clothes. If you really wanted to, you could include some changeable clothes in that one Mario pack. So you could literally just change out his outfit and see what the different outfits do. That might encourage more people to just buy the outfit sets. That way when people actually started buying sets, they could interact with two different uniforms and see how it changed the set. Even though it doesn't change it much because the gimmicks in these sets literally do nothing. But overall, I think once we start getting some Mario minifigs, which I still do reckon will happen, people are going to start building a lot more mocks for these kind of sets, and I think there is where we're going to see this LEGO Mario line shine. And then that's when I think we're going to start getting some more sets by Nintendo and by LEGO that show off things a little bit like Zelda and Metroid, maybe some of the other Nintendo games that maybe not a lot of people know about. Can you imagine if we got a Link figure with a Master Sword that looked as good as the Godric Gryffindor sword? But that's it, that's been my rambly video on the new Mario sets. What do you guys think of these opinion videos? I'd greatly like to know in the comments. I really think these are the types of videos that sets my channel apart from everybody else's. However, there are a lot more sort of modification videos and is it worth my funny videos coming in the future. I do have a lot planned, it's just getting around to doing them. But you can either quickly let me know in the comments, or you can head to something like the description and join my Discord, as we have a bit of a chat over there, where it's just a bit more interactive than the comments. However, do leave me me a comment. I do like reading them. But that's been the video. If you guys have enjoyed, please go ahead and hit that like button. Greatly helps me out. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 600. I know we've only just passed 500, but we're already climbing on that 6. So go ahead and hit that sub button and the bell to get notified whenever I release a new LEGO video, which is usually every week or so. Highly recommend checking out some of the links in the description. You've got my Discord where we can chat and play games. You've also got a community Discord just in case you don't give a shit about my channel and you just want to join a LEGO Discord. And you've got my things like the Instagram and Twitter so you can get in contact with me, but honestly Discord is the best way. If you want to, you can check out some of the mods and modifications playlists and the end cards of this video, probably on the screen at the moment, or you can just watch my videos from start to finish in upload order by clicking the other playlist on the right. But that's been this video, and I will see you guys in the next. Goodbye.